What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the LA Soccer Hub Show. My name is Gio Garcia. Today's Tuesday, September 21st. And on Tuesdays, we talk black and gold. We talk LAFC. Lots going on. Also, news today broke about Leagues Cup. Looks like there's going to be a tournament going on in the summer 2023 between Liga MX and obviously the MLS. So that looks very interesting. Before we get into that, let me introduce my guests. We got LAFC Live back once again. We have Back in Black, and we also have JP Marcus. Live, how you doing?
Pretty good, Gio. Thanks for having me on again. Been a busy week, football-related games left and right, but I'm excited to be back and talk some LAFC and Leagues Cup, I guess, now.
Yeah, Leagues Cup. Celso, Back in Black, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. Last time I was here, it was a lot of enemy fire. Excited to be around just some friendly faces and talk about a lot of the big news that we had today and also the signings, and excited to be in the show.
Yeah. JP, how you been, man?
I'm good. Just school and LAFC, just watching soccer in LAFC. So good to be back.
Good to be back. School, I remember those days. Do you remember those days, Back in Black?
Yeah, man, it was a while back, so let's not talk about it because I will date myself, but I can tell you this is going to be the best time of your life, so keep at it because it's downhill from here, unfortunately.
It's downhill, really? To me, I haven't gotten downhill.
I had my time, man. I stayed. I did everything I could to stay an extra time. At Ohio State. I'm a Midwest dude, so
you went to Ohio?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm a Midwest product. That's why if you go to my Twitter, you see some Buckeye stuff.
Wow.
Probably confused some people, but the NCAA football, they kind of injected into me, and it's been kind of a mishmash of emotions. Bringing some of the soccer stuff into that passion, but anyways, we're here to talk soccer.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. Midwest.
There's
soccer there.
That's what we want to know, though.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. I'm actually hoping to go to the U.S. men national team game against Costa Rica in Columbus. It is a soccer city now, and that will continue, and look forward to see what it goes to.
Nice. Live, where'd you go to school? Or did you go to school?
Yeah. Yeah. Degrees in the bag. I bought it from the Dollar Tree just for look.
Hey, there we go.
No, I went to Cal State Fullerton, so.
Oh, yeah. Nice, Fullerton.
Yeah,
GTF.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, who knows about that?
The less said about that place, the better, man. That place is. Yeah.
Who knows about that?
Yeah. But yeah, I went there. And it was chill.
So for those that don't know, DTF stands for Downtown Fullerton. So it's like a strip of bars. You just go out. I went there like once or twice with my cousins when I was in college, but it was a lot of fun. I must admit, it was a lot of fun. Got a little rowdy, but I highly recommend it. I haven't been in forever. It's been
a while.
I've been
in Fullerton. See, I'm not that old, man. I've been there. It was awesome. You guys rap all right.
Yeah, it's no Ohio State or quick story about that. I had a coworker once I graduated college. I had this job. I moved out to the East Coast. My coworker is a big Ohio State fan. I think I went to school there. His kids went to school there, and Ohio State won the national championship. So he was all excited, and everywhere we would go, he'd be like OH, and then yell like Ohio. Yeah. So I was just like, we're like,
oh, God. Yeah, we're gonna lose some audience here, man. Like we
gotta stop.
California, you best move on here. I'm gonna start getting some Twitter hate also, but it's
what you started.
I think it's a good transition. I know we're gonna talk about this league because football rules in America, and I think today we did a big step towards becoming a bigger league, a more organized league. A fusion of two tournaments, trying to make a bigger statement in this sport. And I think it's very welcome. But don't want to steal your thunder, but I think it's a good starting to compare, right, where soccer is in America and what this means. This change today means, because I think it means a lot.
Yeah, it does. And I got a video that we're gonna play here because the announcement was today. So let me play the video and then we'll get into it. Because it's a pretty significant announcement. So for those listening, this is a promotion video that they made. Unfortunately, there's no words. It's a bunch of images. You know, they said three nations, 2 leagues, and just talking about the Leagues Cup, which we'll get into. So just a little promo video. It would have been nice if they had some words, being able to narrate it. But the images, the content's pretty cool.
It opened with the bank. If you guys noticed that, it was the first shot I saw there. It was 3-2-5-2 and the bank.
So the thing that we know of the Leagues Cup is going to be in the summer 2023. Obviously, Liga MX and MLS. So they're going to pause the leagues for a month in the summer. So the big thing about it is the top 3 finishers. So first, second, and third are going to get an automatic bid to CCL, and also the first place team is also going to get a bye. So depending how that looks, or it's going to get a bye in the CCL. So it's going to be formatted like the World Cup format. So every team is going to get a chance. Every MLS team and is going to be 29 by that time, and then 18 Liga MX clubs are going to be in it. So every team gets a shot. Now we know that Liga MX has been obviously the most successful league so far. But MLS has more teams, so we'll see how that'll play in its favor. Live, what are your thoughts about this news?
Well, I was kind of expecting not kind of something like this to be announced, but I'm excited for it. Every team in MLS gets an opportunity along with Liga MX. Obviously, there's 27 teams, and then by 2023, I think there'll be 28, 29. I don't really know. But it's gonna showcase MLS, what they're all about. You would favorite MLS at least getting 2 or 3 teams, depending on the format of this, to at least the Final Four. You would hope. It'd be kind of a shame if Liga. I'm not really in favor of it, but I think it's gonna happen. And another thing I had a question about, I'm not sure if it was confirmed or not, is that I saw that the games will take place in the United States and I think Canada. But I didn't see anything about playing away in Mexico, which I think if that's not the case, that's kind of a big loss, because I would love to see all of these MLS clubs go to a game in Mexico and actually participate. You would like to see someone like, I don't know, Chicago Fire playing in Mexico, or FC Cincinnati. Just think about the fans getting a trip that some of these fans have never been outside the state, so going to Mexico would be awesome to see a game like that. But that's just some quick thoughts about this. I'm excited to see a lot of questions, hopefully a lot of answers along the way as well.
Yeah, no, it's exciting news. And you hit on a lot of different points. Back in Black, let's get your thoughts on this news that was announced today.
Yeah, great news. I see it very positively. I don't follow the Liga Mexico as close as some of us in the group, and honestly, there's a lot of similarities from the talent and the All-Star game that we just had here in Los Angeles, in my opinion, was a big test tube of how these 2 leagues can kind of intercommingle, and I think it was very positive. And this is a next step of this latest experiment. The trade, the player markets are highly intertwined. You have a high number of Mexican players playing in MLS, but maybe not high enough. The Argentinians are still the number 2 nationality after Americans, and that might not be something that people that organize the leagues are happy about. They might want to see a little bit more transfers within those 2 leagues, so it could be something around that as well. Player movements and facilitating sort of the motion between the 2. Where is it going to go from here? I only think it's going to go up. As Live said, fusion is really what everyone wants. I don't think necessarily maybe the best move, but if you look at how leagues in the past within the United States have handled fusions, and again, we had the NBA that did it. We had, and I know it sounds different, but it's 2 leagues kind of getting together. You had the NFL that also went through the NFC, AFC coming together. Can we expect that 2 leagues that are sort of cousins can, work its differences and come up with the format that the 2 best teams meet in the end? So we'll see where it goes. The Leagues Cup is something we don't pay a lot of attention to. So I also believe this gives this tournament a little bit more of a punch. And it did need a reformatting, the round robin aspect of it makes it for something that we haven't seen much because it's not a back and forth style 2-game playoffs, right? And to your point, Live, you're right. If we're going to play this in the northern part of the continent, what does this say about the Mexican teams? But what I believe they're going to try to do is what we do in the World Cup, which is have some venue cities, regions. And we know that, Mexicans and Latin Americans travel really well. So, I'm very, very positive that they're going to pack their stadiums and, have 2-1 in SKC if we play in El Paso and somewhere like that. So that's where I think it's going to go from, at least from the home field advantage standpoint. And, I've always liked single elimination games versus this back and forth, which is something very different. And, it's exciting. Everybody likes penalty kicks.
Yeah, no, I think it's a big news.
Exactly.
Big news. So you hit on a lot of different great things. I'm not sure if everybody would be interested in a merger. I don't know if a lot of Liga MX fans would be interested in the merger, but this could be one of those stepping stones, right? Depending how we see how it is. And I do agree.
They would not be interested. And I was thinking from a very colonialistic standpoint that we are the Americans and here we come and you better come to our league and we are now the NFL too. You're right. So
no, but
the other side of the coin is really tough.
Yeah, and what I was going to say,
too. Yeah,
what I was going to say, them not being able to have the games in Mexico, that may be one of the things is, obviously they can come to the U.S. and they come out there, but part of, these tournaments, I think the exciting thing is to be able to travel outside the country and also feel that intense atmosphere. We got Andy in the chat trolling a little bit. He says FC Cincinnati going for Leagues Cup, and he's an Austin FC fan. He says Austin FC for CCL champs. I mean, first they got to get up to the playoff spots, man, before we even think about them being champions. But anyways, JP, let's get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I mean, being I guess from both countries, seeing both leagues growing up. It's going to be interesting, seeing these Mexican teams square up against, these MLS teams being outnumbered like 2-1 by MLS teams. But I think the World Cup format should help. They should already have set venues and then, just draw them out. Seattle shouldn't be playing at home. LAFC shouldn't be playing at home. They should, travel out, make it, really, really feel like a tournament with some animosity. These games are going to be chippy. There's going to be, national pride involved in some games. So it's going to be nice. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the final in Azteca or MetLife, a big venue, a big stadium where everybody can go and travel. It's easier for the MLS fans to go to Mexico than the Mexican fans to come to the MLS. So, I mean, the Leagues Cup right now is I guess, a bit unfair because the Mexican teams have to travel and Seattle plays at home, New York played at home or whatever. So, I do want, 1 or 2 Mexican venues and then, see where it goes from there. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a big restructure, big changes, and I think it's for the better for both. I just don't see a merger between leagues. I think this is as best as it's gonna get for a while, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, I mean, seeing Chivas play.
If you think about how baseball does it, and where you're playing most of your games within your division, and then even more of your games within your conferences, and then you play in a very small portion of your games outside, right? That could work. So, we would fuse it, but you're still sort of giving priority to your domestic schedule, right? It can't be a full-on fusion. I just believe that you can create league tournaments that can run through and crown a true champion versus this third thing that qualifies us. And then, it's like the Sudamericana, everybody likes it, but it's the second-tier tournament that qualifies you to the next thing.
What I will say is it definitely is another stepping stone towards that conversation, right? Yeah. But I think even with this tournament, I think there's to have a merger. I think there's multiple things, but this could potentially be it, or this could be this could be a Leagues Cup every year or every 2 years or whatever before the World Cup. But I think it's going to be interesting how it plays out, and I think a lot of the things we even got Foot in the chat because this is definitely going to be some of it. He says it's all about dollars, bro. Not even Liga MX wants games in Mexico. Well, part of the reason that they don't want games in Mexico, from what I was reading, is that they're going to make a lot more money in the United States. But I think they would want I think we would want some games. I mean, even in the knockout stage, maybe the semifinal in Azteca or different things. Obviously, the venues haven't been selected, but I think we're 2 years away from it, and a lot of things can change. But I think to that point, Mexican fans, Mexican teams, obviously, it's not just going to be Chivas, it's not just going to be America, and other teams that we're used to seeing. Everybody is going to be able to benefit of this. But I think if you're the teams that everybody gets a shot, I think in CCL, not everybody gets a shot. Not everybody gets a somewhat of a fair shot. This is the best that I could see of a fair shot that everybody can get right now. If you're right, you're Austin FC this year, right? I mean, realistically, you're probably not going to go that far, but you got your shot, right? So teams 2 years from now will have and look at that, and then you can also see. I think every MLS, obviously, out top of the top tier, can also look and be like, we're going to be playing you in the summertime, opposed to like when your guys' season already starts. So MLS is already going to be informed. Liga MX may be in between, but I think now is going to be even a more of a fair shot for the MLS teams opposed to the Liga MX teams. What are your thoughts on that, Live?
I think that's you're absolutely spot on. Like, there's going to be no excuses. Everyone's going to be in the same like kind of format, and that's what I'm hoping this whole thing kind of fixes the MLS scheduling, because that's always been a conflict. I feel like with international breaks, we keep playing, and then the star players come back, they're either injured or they're tired, and it's always a roundabout. Not just with LAFC, obviously, but with every team it happens to them. So I'm hoping the scheduling conflicts kind of get resolved. And then also, I know a lot of the fans, we're talking about like the marketing, like Foot mentioned with the dollars here. Well, yeah, that's true, but I would really be sad that some of these fans from the States can't go to Mexico to go watch some of these games. Because I would love to go to LAFC against maybe I don't know, Cruz Azul or something like that away, or Pumas. I don't know, because every team's in it, so everyone's got a fair shot. And the only other question I have is that this is going to be a new tournament. Does this overshadow CONCACAF Champions League now, since this is such a massive tournament? And also, yeah, see, there's a question right there. So, like, would the winner of the Leagues Cup be technically the ultimate winner, since you've proven that you've beaten all the MLS teams, you've beaten all the other Liga MX teams? I think a team from Honduras or whoever else we play, is that really going to matter in the end? That's just my opinion. I don't know, will it? And then also, what's going to happen to the U.S. Open Cup? Because teams like the Charlotte Battery or Louisville and whatnot, I mean, who's to say that they won't speak up and say, hey, we kind of want to get into this too. We just don't want to compete in the U.S. Open Cup, if that's even going to be a thing, because it seems like they're kind of shushing that away for now. So that's the lower teams are going to lose out on that. That's just something I'm thinking about. And maybe down the line we can see Pro Rel develop out of this somehow, some way, but I doubt it. But we'll see. That's just my thought.
I mean that is a great point. Chris from Facebook says, "What does this do to CONCACAF Champions League?" So obviously this was approved by CONCACAF. So CONCACAF approved this, gave it. This is approved from everybody. Don Garber and the Liga MX president. Everybody has their hands involved. Approved this, and obviously the top prize. They're still making it known that the top prize is CONCACAF, because you're getting three spots, right? 3 spots for that, and then also there's also going to be money incentives, cash incentives for the players. Obviously, we know the teams are going to benefit off of that. Back in Black, what are your thoughts on that, on CCL? How do you feel? Obviously, we don't know what it will do to CCL, but we also got to talk on CCL. There's teams from Honduras, El Salvador, and even from the Caribbean that play in the CCL. So obviously, you don't want to forget them, because they're part of CONCACAF. What do you think this will do to the Champions League?
Nothing. No, I mean, listen, if you're a South American football fan and you watch Libertadores, you would understand that the Sudamericana champion qualifies for the next year's Libertadores, right? Everyone wants to win the Libertadores, right? It's the same exact thing with CONCACAF. With CONCACAF, you're all trying to win. We all try to win the CCL, which births you into the World Championship, which gives you a chance, and once in a history, to be a European team, right? That's what you want to do. And along the way, you can make a lot of money as a club, right? Collect a lot of awards and get there. So this strengthens and opens a path to get to the CCL. So it doesn't take away from the Central American teams that continue to have representation, limited representation, representative to their leagues. And it gives this other path, which is, again, the exact same path that the Copa Sudamericana offers, South American teams today, which allows you to then divide your roster in a way to prioritize this or that championship based on what, is plausible for your roster to attain within a calendar year, because you don't want to be in a like situation. Now I'm going to use a lot of other leagues as references. You don't want to be the NBA that, by halfway through, you already know that half of the teams are out, right? That is why that league is now thinking of about a mid, season tournament as well. You want to keep people engaged, and this will do it. So it only will make it bigger. It only will make it more royal, and it gives you a berth. If you win this, it gives you a berth automatically to try again next year. For me, there's not too good of marketing around the CCL in the United States yet to make this the championship or the tournament that it needs to be. That is, again, how us South Americans have grown to see the Copa Libertadores, right? I was always a supporter of São Paulo Football Club, and during the 90s, we were basically ruling South America, and we got to play AC Milan and Barcelona, and I got to see them both beat both of those teams as a child. I'll tell you, man, it will change your perception about your team and what your league can do. Yeah. That's what MLS needs to do, and this is the step towards it.
No, I agree. I think I agree with that as well. I think it will.
Leon beat Palmeiras, right? Tigres beat Palmeiras, right? And had a chance, man. That's exciting. And how many of the Tigres fans see that as the marquee moment in their clubs? History?
No, I completely agree. JP, let's get your thoughts on this. How do you feel this will impact the CCL?
I think it's further strengthens it, because you don't get the ticket to the Club World Cup, and I think that's where everybody wants to go to. That's where everybody sees you. That's where the European clubs are going to see you and see your players, and that's where they're going to want to buy them after a good performance in the World Cup for the clubs. So CCL is going to is bigger as well. They're going to have 50 teams, 10 from Central America and 10 from the Caribbean. So everything has just gotten bigger. I don't know how they're going to, schedule all of it, but it's going to be, a hot mess of a lot of soccer in North America. And I'm here for it. It's just going to be how tired are these teams going to be? Like Celso said, they might just prioritize one tournament and then, go from there. It's going to be a long, long route to, end up winning a championship. LAFC might just focus on MLS Cup or focus on Leagues Cup, and then just not care about the other tournaments. It's just gonna be a lot of thinking. The front office is gonna have to think about how to roster build, all these other things that they didn't have to worry about before this merger. I also think that they should change the trophy. I don't like it. It's just like two bowls on top of each other.
The Leagues Cup.
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys didn't know, there's a Leagues Cup final tomorrow between Sounders and who I don't even know.
Leon.
Yeah.
Leon. That's what I said earlier.
Go ahead, finish up though, JP.
Yeah, I mean that was just a random thing, but I don't like the trophy the way it looks. It's just two little bowls on top of each other. But I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this, and especially since it's just quick group stages, it's gonna keep the viewers very intrigued and active, and it's not this Leagues Cup that's just dragged out and nobody even watches it.
Yeah, no, I think it has to look if it's going to be in the summer, right? I'm assuming no more than a month. I think that's what the World Cup is, maybe a month and a half. Could be wrong, or it's around there. But if they do it right, they pick the right venues. I'm assuming you got to pick LA. You're gonna have to pick some in Texas, but give a venue to Estadio Azteca or in Monterrey or in Guadalajara, somewhere over there, just to mix it up. I mean, because this is what you're gonna expect the following year, right? Or when's the 2026 World Cup, right? I have my math wrong. So in the 3 years from that, you're gonna have at least some of these players that are gonna play for their nation. Are gonna be able to do that. So I just think it's gonna strengthen. What Celso said, it's gonna strengthen CCL. I do agree the marketing has to be a lot better, but it's also gonna make teams, right? Depending how that 2023 season starts for the MLS. Whether they start in January, whenever they start, I think every team should prioritize the Leagues Cup because there's 3 CCL spots open, right? There's more MLS teams than Liga MX teams, like you said, it's 2-1. live. How excited are you when you saw the news, or how do you feel about this now that we're actually talking about it?
I got really excited, to be honest with you. Obviously, some skepticism from me, just trying to work out like the scheduling, how's it going to work, and all that. But when I first thought about it, I was like, man, this is a tournament. I might sound crazy, I sound optimistic, but this is a tournament. I think LAFC. I don't even have to look at the groupings or how it's going to work. I think this is a tournament they can go far in based on the experience they've had. The CONCACAF Champions League, playing against all those Liga MX teams. Unfortunately, in the final, losing to Tigres, but this is a tournament. I think this team, depending who's going to be, still around, who's the GM, who's the manager, all those other things and whatnot. But I think this is a team that can go far in it, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see LAFC play a Chivas or a Pumas or something like that. Just random. That's the whole thing about it to me is random. I like that. I like not knowing who we're going to play and who's going to be doing what. It's exciting to me, and hopefully LAFC will go far when the time comes in 2023.
Yeah, and another thing I was gonna say before we switch off, Celso. Another thing is like right now because it's like I said, Sounders and Leon are playing. Those are essentially just glorified exhibition games. You know what I'm saying? These games moving forward, or 2023 comes around, they're gonna count for something. They're literally gonna count for something, right? Outside of the CCL, we know we have these other tournaments in there, but it's not gonna get more. Imagine, America versus LAFC or Chivas versus LAFC. Right, in New York City or whatever, you name it, right? That game's going to matter even if it's in the knockout stage. That game's really going to be important, right? Those games are going to be so much more important. People are going to pay attention to it so much more. It also gives the lower tier teams in the MLS and Liga MX a taste of what it is, because right now in CCL it's only a number of MLS teams. Was it 3 or 4 MLS teams that get into CCL? So a lot of them won't be able to taste what CCL is. This will be their first taste in Leagues Cup, and I think this is the biggest benefit for the lower tier teams in both Liga MX and MLS. They're gonna face an America. They're gonna face a Chivas. I think that's exciting.
I think the question is, how are the smaller markets gonna react to this expansion, and are they going? We are a very diverse league. With teams from very different parts of our country that represent different supporters, and with different interests, and it all has to work. It has to work just as good for the team in Chicago as it works for the team in Kansas City, as it works for the team in Miami. So I'm sure we can make it work in LA, like we made it work for the All-Star game and some of the more marquee games that dominate the television. But can we make it work nationally, or are we completely regionalizing the sport by moving it to the United States? And then the question begs then, how do you incorporate Canada or continue to incorporate Canada in the mix, given that they have weather issues, right? And again, that's not going to happen.
Sorry, just to interrupt. I think America played. JP played in Canada. I think they played in Montreal or Vancouver. I think they had an exhibition game earlier this year. Huh?
Wasn't the Dome? I think then they played. I remember
they played in the Dome. Yeah. I think they played earlier, and there was a lot of America fans in Canada. So I don't think.
Bottom line, soccer dominates the summer, and people like to travel to see teams. And if you put good product out there, people will travel for it, and we like to watch it on TV. The ratings always respond. And then fall moves on, and it loses the air, and then it becomes more of a regional thing. So. I expect the calendar to move back a little bit, and I'll finish it with that. And then the second thing, I expect the salary caps for MLS teams to grow so that we can have deeper rosters to compete in multiple tournaments. And again, those are the two big things that make me really excited about this change today.
Yeah, more money all around.
More options, right?
Yeah, more money, more options. Obviously, we know Liga MX has the capability of bringing in higher profile players because they're not trapped into the MLS type of system. But quickly in the comments, let me know if you guys are excited about Leagues Cup, or if you're not. I just want to see how people are feeling. I know live you did a poll, so it'd be great to see those numbers. Look, we got to talk about LAFC. This is an LAFC style podcast, but I felt like it was really important to talk about Leagues Cup because this deals with LAFC in the future. So I think it's an amazing thing that's going to happen for the league. Now we just got to see how it works out. obviously over the weekend, very frustrating game, I guess to say the least, against the Timbers. Look, we know the Timbers and LAFC always play these physical matches. We know they always go at it, and I think the thing that I was more interested to see is like, look, how they're going to react, what they can do. Because it's tough. It's tough to play on the turf. It's tough, with the different environment. Obviously, we know the game ended up 2-1. Timbers ended up scoring first, and then Chicho got the PK. And then in the 68th minute, Timbers put LAFC away. A lot of missed opportunities. Live, how did you see this game? How did you feel about this game?
It's the same thing that haunts us, missed opportunities. And score. We had our guns out there, Rodriguez, Chicho, even Cifuentes. Cifuentes, who almost, hands down, almost got goal the whole season from 60 yards out, but unfortunately he hit the post. That was a crazy shot. If you guys have all seen it, they rewinded a couple times. Crazy. But just couldn't finish. And I think we matched up pretty decent as far as physicality, but at the same time, the set piece defending. And also Murillo, I'm sorry, but he looked like a headless chicken out there at times. And we're starting to find out that Segura is the one that made him look really, really good at times. And it just kind of sucks because you have that 3-game winning streak. You want to keep building on it, at least get a point. And then we're back to reality. The same mistakes keep haunting us. And then the whole thing with the sub, 75th minute, why did we wait so long to make any changes? And the whole Bryce Duke thing, I understand the system and whatnot, but Bryce Duke's been our aggressive player the past couple times. He's been really coming, really shining as a kid, young gun. And what's his reward? Bench 2 straight games. Don't understand that. And then when you come on, it's like, what's he going to do in 15 minutes or 10 minutes? So just disappointing, really disappointing.
Yeah, JP, let's get your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I mean, LAFC shoot themselves in the foot again. 2 clear missed opportunities, and then it's literally the direct play after they get scored on. So, the ones that you don't score, the opponents are going to take and they're going to make you pay. LAFC wasn't as chippy as they needed to be. They weren't as physical as they needed to be. They didn't set the tone early. We all saw that changes needed to be done. And then, you wait until after you get scored on, and then you wait a couple minutes after, and it's just a slow response, instead of, pushing for 5th, 4th place in playoffs. Now you're struggling for 7th, even with 9 games left. You struggle. You put yourself in this situation where now you're outside looking in, and you kind of don't have the destiny in your hands anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I think outside looking in, depends how you're looking at it. I'll pull up the standings. But Celso, how'd you feel about this game? Talk to me about this game.
Oh, man, it was a classical LAFC loss on the road where we sort of looks like we are dominating. We have good possession. We win the X-Goal battle. I just checked. It always takes a little bit to come out. We did win the X-Goal battle. Yet we lose the game. The aggressiveness wasn't there. One indicator, they had 4 yellow cards. We had none, even though we had a few more fouls. And, sometimes you just got to set the tone. And we never really did that. And they, right off the gate, come out strong, got the first goal. In MLS soccer, if you scored the first one, you have a pretty good chance to win it. We found the way to tie. And, as soon as I was tweeting, a tie is good for us here, let's get the point. It happens like it always does. We concede the late goal, at the end of the game. And that's been the problem of our team. We just cannot figure out how to close it out, essentially, or find the third goal, right? And then close the game out, or, protect some sort of lead or point. And in this case, turn out for the worse. So I can't say anymore that I don't expect these things. It's Portland on the road, close match, and the stronger team won.
Yeah, no, I think it's a game of missed opportunities. I got to pull up the miss by Seafood because it's not to rub it in, but it's just unfortunate because we know what happened right after that. Right after this play is when the Timbers took over. But I mean, Chicho played he had another amazing game. Yeah, I know he scored a penalty, but it's always good to see your striker score goals in any way, right? I know he's had 3 penalties, but anyway, it could also be 3 misses as well, right? And anyway you can affect the game. You can add the stat, but he could have had 2 assists. let's watch the miss by Cifuentes.
Supports last man back. Cifuentes on the near side. Cifuentes missed it. Wow. Huge miss. He can't believe it. Nor can I. And Bob Bradley, you can see in the
Yeah. Live, talk to me about instant reaction, because when I watched that, my mouth just dropped because I was like, "Oh, here's the tie," and then
I would have waited 2 minutes and then got him out and would have put in Duke right away. That's it. Maybe Duke would have missed too, but at least you're being proactive instead of waiting for something else to happen when it's not coming. And it's just been haunting us all season. Missed chances, just like that, wide open net. I don't know if it was nerves. Maybe he thought. I'm not him, so I don't know what he was thinking or what happened, but just a shame. It would have been nice, but didn't happen.
Back, your thoughts on Cifo's miss?
Okay, the bigger thing is between him and B-Rod, they had 8 shots, 1 on target. That was not one of them, as you saw it, and that's why we lost. Again, the X-Go for that shot was 0.7, equal to a penalty kick. So he missed a penalty kick, right? And that's what happens. You miss penalty kicks, you get scored on, you lose the game.
Look, you're a lot closer than a penalty kick, which I would add.
Right. Well, right. He was up to the right. So, X goal measures, different things, right? Angle, right? And penalty kicks are awarded a 0.7 X goal, which he ended with, right? Again, it was an easy chance. Should have just put it in, didn't do it, right? And we lost the game. Pretty simple.
JP, your thoughts on that miss?
He didn't even get it on target. I guess that's what sucks the most. He didn't even get it on target. If you're 2 yards out, 3 yards out, at least hit it on frame. If the goalie saves it, then you say, okay, what a great keeper or whatever. But you don't even get it on target. It's all on you.
If I may comment on that real quick, because LAFC finished 1 for 13. All right.
On shots, shots on target, or just shots? Shots on target.
One on target for 13. FBref.com. Check it out right now.
No, I believe
the
you.
Only shot on target came from Brian Rodriguez.
If you're 3 yards out and you can't hit it on target, then you just don't deserve to win the game. It's that simple.
Shots came from 6 different people, so it's not. Oh my goodness, again 4 from Brian, 4 from Cifuentes, and again, and I will say what the bigger issue in my opinion is the inability to assist. Okay, it's the last pass, which. Bryce,
that was a perfect pass though from Chicho though.
That was a really good pass.
That was a perfect pass though. Like Chicho had two good passes. I would say the finishing though. I would.
Next time he's going to shoot. Next time he's going to take that shot, and he should.
But there's no next time though. There's no. Sometimes in this part of the season, there's no next time. It's you only get one. They got 2 chances. Live, you're gonna say something. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would say it's crazy is that his 60-yard shot was closer to going in than the one he just missed.
Oh, didn't it hit the pole?
Hit the pole.
Hit the sidebar.
Wow.
I always said that. He likes the big shot. He likes the big goal.
He always hits the pole outside the 18.
Yeah, it's always gonna be the one you're like, oh my god, he jaw drops you. But the easy ones, he doesn't score.
Both shots. Yeah, both shots were jaw dropping, but the second one sucked.
That's what we got a comment here. It says Chicho's look at Cifu after that was classic. He literally looked at Cifu like WTF. You actually missed that. I did see Chicho's face, and like he's not gonna say anything, but I think he was in such disbelief because he literally put it on the platter that he was like, and I know Chicho's also missed, but where they're at and how they've been rolling, I was like, wow. I was just, I don't know. Like, I know they went on a 3-game winning streak, but do you feel
it sucked the air out of the team? That shot just sucked the air out of the team.
They look like, I was like, okay, 3-game winning streak. It'd be great if they could get a result here, but I think then that game they've looked like LAFC have looked all year in 2021.
Yep, this was the game to change that, but it goes back to the same old.
It's very up and down. That's why I don't measure anything. And let's get excited about 1 game. Let's get excited about 3 games. Let's get excited about 5 games. 5 games, you start seeing a trend. Like if you look at our 5 games chunks, you don't find really good streaks from us. And if you go 7 games, the seesaw happens, which lands us right in the middle of the standings. So it's not unexpected that we're going to go down all of a sudden without Diego Rossi, Carlos Vela, Eduardo Tuesta, and then half of our top roster. Like, it's just not going to happen, and it wasn't happening when they were playing. Imagine now without them. It's going to be only worse.
Yeah. JP, let's talk about these subs. How'd you feel about the subs? I believe in the 75th minute. It says right here. Yeah, 75th minute.
They took too long. Raheem Edwards, I don't think should have played that long. Maybe get him off at half. Get Palacios or Farfan back in. Nobody knew about Latif's injury. He came in with basically half a cast on, and you force him to play 15, 20 minutes. Crisostomo, I don't understand why Duke was playing two great games, and then you just take him out for no reason. You say, okay, he's not going to play against Austin because you're obviously resting him for the game that matters, but you don't play him again, and you only play him in the 85th minute, not even in the 75th minute where you make the other rest of the subs. For me, the middle should have been Guiñela. Sifu plays the Atuesta role, the 8 role, the prominent role, because he's the second best midfielder we have, and then Duke stays at the 10 because that's what he's been doing the last 2 games, and it's been working. Crisostomo didn't play a bad game, but he's just not ready for this type of environment. Portland is not the best scenario for your second, MLS start, and he should have gone out earlier. The sub should have happened before we got scored on. They should have happened at the 60th minute, 65th minute. Everybody saw it. The team needed to revolutionize themselves. Energetic subs off the bench to get the tie or maybe get the second goal, but it just didn't happen, and it took too long.
Yeah, and I think this is definitely a game that I was like, this is how their season has been going. Late subs, missed opportunities that turned to opportunities for the other team. Obviously, let's look at the standings because they're currently in 8th place, like I mentioned earlier. Obviously, they're outside looking in. They're a point behind. Who is it? They're a point behind Minnesota. So LAFC. Let me zoom in a little bit. So LAFC is obviously in 8th place, so 33 points. Minnesota with 34 points. How are you feeling about this team? Obviously, in the standings, you said there's 9 games left.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this team live and where they're at right now?
Not good. We play away to San Jose Saturday, who we haven't beat since September 2020, and I believe the last game we played, that's when I just went off. I was just bob out from there, and I've been bob out since. So I'm not flip-flopping on that. And then we play at home to Portland, who we just lost to. Then we play at Carson. I mean, the only games that I can see that are kind of we got a good shot at winning them is at Dallas and playing at home to Vancouver, to be honest with you. That, from what I'm seeing here, that's the legit dubs. I would bet like maybe $10 on it.
You're a big betting man, I can tell.
Not a lot, but hey, I mean, I think dubs, but the rest are questionable, very questionable. And it's not like we're like, okay, well, if we keep winning, we're going to definitely be in the playoffs. No, Vancouver's behind us, San Jose's behind us. And if we slip up for some reason, maybe Ricardo Pepi carries Dallas on his back and they somehow sneak in, but I doubt it. It's going to be a crazy finish, and I will not be surprised if we miss out by like a point getting into the playoffs. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be.
Wow, that would be something.
Either.
That would be something.
It'd be sad. It'd be really depressing. But hey, I mean, what do I know? I don't really know much, so I just say what it is.
So what are your thoughts when you look at the standings and the games?
So let's do a little bit of math, all right? Because that's my thing.
Hold on. Let's talk about these next 3 games.
No, real quick. No, let me show you this because this is what matters, right? We have to essentially
everything,
win.
Celso, everything in this podcast matters. Everything matters, brother. Everything.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Well, I wanted to talk about the standings there and how we're going to make it if we have any chance. But go ahead.
Did you want me to pull it back up or what?
No, it's good. Essentially, what I'm saying is we have to win 4 or 5 games, right? Out of the 9. We have to keep a pace that we haven't done all year, and it's going to be close. If we're going to find 4 wins, it's going to be Vancouver. I don't even know. Who's going to be, right? It's like Vancouver plus 3, and San Jose once. But it's going to be really close. You have maybe Dallas coming, and I think we play maybe. It's just going to be extremely close. So I'm not keeping my hopes up anymore.
Yeah, and look, after a game like that, when you have all the opportunities, because that game, it's not like LAFC was out of it; they were in it, and I feel like a lot of the refereeing was in their favor. I don't know if that penalty should have been. I don't know if that penalty was a penalty. And then even the third goal that Timber scored, if you look at it, I don't know, they could have stayed on, but I feel like a lot of calls went LAFC's way. Obviously that's small, right, in the grand scheme of things, but I felt like they had their chances. They weren't really out, and it's just more of the same old things. Obviously, eventually, Carlos Vela is going to come back sometime, right? This could either make things better. We saw him smiling. I know there was like a photo of him in training. I think when Jamal Blackman was running through the tunnel. So, JP, how do you think potentially whenever Carlos Vela comes back, he could help this team in any way? Because you would have to imagine, I know he's not had a good season, but anyway, at this point in the season, he's going to have to give it his all. And what Chicho's doing up there, I think they could be a solid pairing.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it a lot of times. I don't think Vela coming back is going to hinder this team in any way. He might not start all the games when he obviously fresh coming back, but he had a lot of responsibility, and he would play it to Rossi, and Rossi wasn't on fire, and he wasn't finishing. So he could have got an assist there. He could have helped the team would have gotten a groove, but it just didn't happen. He just didn't have anybody next to him to score. Obviously, his shots were off. We all know his cut to the left, shoots it into the corner. That didn't happen. Now Chicho's on fire. B-Rod's playing nice. So a lot of load is not going to be on Carlos Vela. Chicho can take the ball, hold up play by himself, So, and the front three they all are going to occupy the defense, the rivals' defense. They're all going to have to, watch out for Chicho. They're all going to have to watch out for B-Rod. They're all going to watch out for Vela. So it's not just Mark Vela and then the LAFC's done, So I think he's going to come back and we're going to look better. It just means that we're going to change the formation to 4-3-3. And then I think that's when the questions in the back are going to, arise. If Murillo plays with Fall, or who's going to play right back, because Moon is a liability defensively. Who plays the left back? And that's more of the questions that are going to happen when Vela comes back, not the front three. I think the front three is going to be fine. We're going to keep on scoring goals. It's just if we can defend.
Solid point. How do you feel about that? About what JP said? It won't be the front three with Vela, most likely the defense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead, live. Sorry, I'm over.
Go ahead, live.
So pretty much like what JP was saying, like the back line is going to be a focal point because we got Mamadou Fall, who's looked good at times, but still he's not 25. He's like, 18, 19, whatever. So he's still learning on the fly. He's next to Murillo, who thinks he's Sergio Ramos, but it's the complete opposite of that. He's I'll be honest with you. Yeah, Kumu Wan, great attacking, but defensively is suspect. Left back, Chiqui Palacios has not been the same since coming back from the international break. He's been all over this season. Marco Farfan, the less said about him, the better. So it's going to be, honestly, that's going to make or break us, to be honest with you, that defense. And I'm looking at these 9 games again, and I think in my heart, if we lose, I don't want to lose to them, but if we lose to Galaxy in Galaxy, I think that's it. We're not making playoffs. I think that's just going to be the balloon that pops. And I'm looking at these other storylines here. We play, because we need like 6 points to get into the playoffs. Just think about it. The last 3 games, we play Seattle at home, and then we play Vancouver at home, who we lost on the road to. And then can you imagine, we need the win, and we're playing Mark Anthony K away. If we lose,
oh my God! It is the final game is against Colorado. I know. Mark Anthony's licking his lips right now and being like, "Ooh, yeah." And Colorado's solid. They're a solid squad.
Storylines. Yeah.
Seattle and Colorado might already have their positioning done by those weeks, so they might not even play their starters, and maybe that helps us.
Trust me, anytime you could put any LAFC type of team away, and you have an opportunity not to let them into the playoffs, I'm pretty sure Seattle, Colorado is going to do everything they can if that's the situation. I just think they would finish strong. But I mean, that is a point to think about. Back, what are your thoughts on
that game? Is at the bank, so we
better not lose
to K.
No. It's in Colorado.
It's in Colorado.
It's in Colorado.
Oh man, you do not want to go there, right? Oof. I think Vela coming back is really the only chance we have. He's still our most efficient player. He creates more shots than anyone else in the team. His X goals this year were not great. He was missing a lot of shots, but still, was one of our leading scorers. And he facilitated a lot of goals for other guys. I am excited to see him come back, play with Chicho, which has been the point of reference. I think that it will change the dynamic between the three and create a bit more, creativity up front. But I like to see Duke come back to our lineup to feed these guys. That I'm still concerned with the fact that we don't have, some true assisters that can facilitate that shot and make it easy, kind of like how we saw last game, which, by the way, is one of the reasons why I believe we signed the new player, Galina, and I'm completely butchering his name, from USL. He actually happens to be one of the better players in assists for that league. And I think that's what our front office has been looking at after I look at that signing.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about the new signing forward. Let's get into that to the end. But quickly, LAFC Hawaii says Live has to put K pictures on his phone if Colorado beats.
I'll do that
LAFC.
myself too, man. Like,
yeah,
if he does that to us, because
so Colorado
and
Mark
my K, and I will do
LAFC.
that. If he does that to us. Sorry, go ahead.
Will you do that too, Live?
I'm sure he'll be a smart ass and post something, because he was talking some crap, I guess, a couple weeks ago to someone about the whole transfer and whatnot. So I'm sure he'll put like a laughing emoji or something. But yeah, I'm not replacing my B-Rod picture. I'll tell you that much. That's here to stay. I'm not. Well, I'll have to think about it.
That's until the season end. That was the promise. I remember, right?
Yeah. Look, we got it here. Back in Black agreed to it. We'll see if Live can agree to it. But I mean, that's gonna be an interesting game. And I know, Kay was definitely gonna be witty with whatever he does on Twitter. But yeah, no, I definitely feel like the Achilles heel of this team is definitely the center backs. JP, let's get into you. What are your thoughts on Murillo? Because he's not looked. He continues to look not good, and he's supposed to be this elite center back that made it to the MLS All-Star game. But I think what I've seen enough from him, it's not looked good, and I wouldn't consider him elite. But what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, no, Captain Murillo is a failed project. I don't know why he was given the captain band. I don't think he deserved it. Maybe because he's part of the backbone of the team, being the center back, but. He's given up too many easy goals. He's just caught out of position so many times in elementary ways, and then he yells at his teammates when it's also his fault. Segura, obviously he played better with Segura. Segura obviously covered for him. Murillo's not your primary center back. He's kind of the one that nudges the forward, and then the other center back cuts it off and finishes the job. But giving Murillo the primary center back role is just not it. He's just not up for it. If a ball comes, to his hips, he doesn't know how to control it. He can't control it. You can see that at Carson, the ball comes towards his hip and he just doesn't know what to do with it. So it's just too many little basic things that he's just not keen on that cost us games. So yeah, I mean, he was given the All-Star game because the game was in LA and Bob picked him most likely, or I don't know how it happened, but he's just not an elite center back in this league and for this team.
Live, what are your thoughts on Murillo?
He makes Djokovic look elite, to be honest with you.
Dejan Djokovic?
Yeah, he does.
LAFC. Yes. Wow.
Yeah, he does at times. Yeah, he actually held his own against Liga next team as well, if you remember. This guy, I don't know what happened. I'm pretty sure his crutch was Segura. It had to be. Because at times he looked really good. Like, oh yeah, we got a big bruiser in the back now. He's going to take control. And I had faith in him. I was like, okay, this guy's going to step up. He's going to do his thing. It's been the complete opposite. Mohamed Falls looked like a veteran at times, and this guy looks like he just is out of place. And he has this obsession. I'll keep saying it. He has this obsession of always wanting to push up. I don't understand why he always wants to do that at times when we're trying to defend a lead because we can't win a game. So it's just really weird to me. I don't know if that's the instruction by the management or the tactics, but he can't be captain anymore, like JP said. That was a failed experiment. And I just think that the defense is going to be our weakness throughout these last games here. It's going to be, unfortunately.
Back and back quickly before
Yeah.
we wrapped up the show. What are your thoughts on
Yeah,
Murillo?
he reminds me of Junior Baiano. He used to play for Brazil as a center back. He was really
What does that
tall. I
mean?
believe he had amazing footwork, and I always expected him to make a mistake. And that's Murillo. And by the way, I do believe that the number one mistake the front office did was not replace Eddie Segura when he went down. We needed to get someone fast, someone strong, and show what we're all about. It should have been David Luiz or someone of that caliber to send a statement that we're not messing around. And here we are trying to use Mamadou, which was, by the way, an amazing find, right, to cover a massive hole that Eddie Segura exposed us to. So that's where I'll leave it.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I mean, they had an opportunity. They did have one more international spot. They used it with the goalkeeper. We have yet to see Jamal. Maybe we see him against San Jose. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, to me, Murillo, since the LA Galaxy, since the first El Tráfico, that's when I noticed Murillo was that's when it got on my radar that Murillo was not as elite. I know Andy had mentioned that to me because he used to play for his former club. But yeah, it's unfortunate what's going on here. So we got to talk about the signing. I'm gonna butcher this name. Maybe you guys can pronounce it better than I can. Michi Nagalina. That's the best I'm gonna do. Obviously he's a forward. He's a USL product. I know they were hinting with the signing, but at this point, I knew it wasn't going to be a big name. Live, what are your thoughts on this signing forward?
I guess it adds more forward depth in case more injuries occur. I think now we have Chicho Rodriguez, the new signing here. We also have Jennings, Moose, Torres when he ever gets answered, and Carlos Vela when he comes back. I don't really know much. I'm gonna be honest with you. I never heard of this guy in my life. I don't really know anything about him. I think he had 8 goals in 23 games or something like that when I looked at his stats. But yeah, it'd be cool to see him on the pitch and see what he's about. I mean, we need to win games. So hopefully they brought this guy and thinking, hey, this guy's going to give us a push, a little extra oomph at the end of the games. Or maybe he'll start for all we know. I have no idea. So I'm excited to see what this guy's going to do on the pitch.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a depth piece. Obviously, we don't know. We've seen at times the forwards come and play defense or play midfield, and defenders come and play up top. So we'll see where he gets incorporated. It may just be a depth piece. Back in Black, what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I kind of said it earlier. He popped up on a list of USL players. He definitely is a scorer, has added, and then also tends to be a good assister as well for other players. Very comparable numbers to Cal Jennings. I actually tweeted that Cal has slightly better per 90 numbers than him, right? Per game numbers than him. So, again, I don't know how their football compares and positioning wise, but it'll be interesting to see how that shakes up the roster depth and who gets to play and who gets to even suit up versus goes to Vegas.
Yeah, JP, let me. We don't need to talk about the Nangala anymore. Is that what it is? Michi. I want to talk. The people in the chat want to talk. What about our keeper? He is definitely. This is a comment from Chris. He says he's definitely gotten worse. First goal was his fault. And we have Juan saying who's going to play goalkeeper against the Quakes. How do you feel about the goalkeeper situation moving forward? Because obviously, international spot was used. Jamal Blackman's available. I'm assuming is. What are your thoughts on Romero?
I keep Romero next game. I say if we switch him at Portland at home. I think Blackman's first game should be at home. I think it'll just be the easiest transition, at home with the 32-52 chancing behind you. I think he'll gain confidence like that. If it were me, I wouldn't change anybody. I would keep Romero the rest of the season. But I understand, the team wasted international spot. He has experience, playing at Chelsea. That's not nothing that should be overlooked. So I'll give him a shot. I just don't think the Quakes is the game to do it if it's a must-win game and it's his first game in MLS. He just might not be ready for it. I think he still needs another week in training. But yeah, I mean, we also got an international spot from Vancouver. That was also the other thing that we did besides the transfer. So that's also something to look out for next season. Maybe the next DP or another big signing there. But I keep Romero. I wouldn't say the first goal was his fault. I blame Chris because he lets Blanco just header by himself at the top of the box. You can't do that. Obviously Romero didn't come out, but if you really want to look at it, it starts off with Chris just letting Blanco header the ball at the top of the 18.
Live, what are your thoughts on the goalkeeper situation?
Well, Jamal Blackman's been loaned out 8 times by Chelsea, so that kind of tells you something. Obviously, he played, I think, once for Chelsea, so he wasn't good enough for Chelsea, but he's obviously probably MLS level. I think he's 27 now. He's a tall figure too, which is something we haven't had in a while. I think he's like 6'6", 6'7", so that's obviously an advantage. But I think Thomas Romero, I mean, at times he does make a few mistakes, but at the same time, our defense does. Our defense would make, I don't know, Oblak from Atletico Madrid look very average. That's how our defense is. So, I mean, I would say keep Romero next game, but at a certain point, I think Blackman probably at home, like JP was saying, at Portland, he'll probably start. But it's going to be huge pressure because, I mean, whatever happens on San Jose, knock on wood if we lose, you're going to put this guy in that you just got with 9 or 8 games left to save the day and get us into the playoffs. Oh, and by the way, we're playing at home against Portland, and then your next game's away at Carson. So good luck. So it's going to be interesting. I would keep Romero. That's pretty much my bottom. I keep Romero going until he has a massive mess up or something.
Back in Black, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, if he's available to play, I don't know what the visa situation looks like. My assumption is that's what's holding us back there. But if he's available, I like to see what he brings. There's a handful of games left. Unfortunately, Romero, maybe not this goal was his fault, but there has been goals that I believe he could have done more. Other goalkeepers would have been able, and I would like to see what this guy's all about and if he's worth keeping it for the next season and if he's going to give us the punch that we need to get through it to the playoffs. We haven't had a shutout in a while other than the SKC game, especially one on the road. And, I believe the SKC game away was Romero's first game for LAFC. So why not throw this guy into the fire and see what he's made out of?
I think it was home, but no, it was home against FC.
I thought it was that SKC game very early on that we ended up losing 2-1.
No, it was at home. It was at home against FC Dallas.
Well, either way, I do believe he should start right away so we can have a good sample size of what he's available.
Yeah.
Being away at San Jose shouldn't be a deterrent. This is San Jose that we're talking about here, but apparently they're all good and amazing all of a sudden. We're all fearful of San Jose. The mighty Quakes.
Look, every game counts, no matter what. You got to be able to get.
What did we come to, man? The Quakes are good, man. I'm gonna see my whiskey here. This is why I drink because
You've been drinking tonight or what?
That's all you can do, and to keep letting it down. And I have to have a conversation. The Quakes are going to be the ones that will eliminate LAFC from playoffs. It's distressing.
Oh man, that would be something. But look, yeah. We'll see what happens. Look, every game is going to count. Every game is going to 9 games left. I mean, emotions are going to be riding high. I know emotions are going to be riding high for you guys because one goal, one missed tackle, or one something can make or break you guys making to the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. That's all the time we have for you guys. I want to thank my guys, LAFC Live, Back in Black, JP. And if you guys listening, if you guys watching, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. Trying to grow the YouTube channel, so I would appreciate that. So for these guys, that's going to wrap things up, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye, everybody.